Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined with none other than Anthony Joshua. AJ, it's been a minute. How are you?
I'm good. Just been locked away in Sheffield, as you know. Yeah, just training, and it's good to be here now. Let out to the real world.
But I can see you still haven't gotten a shave, your haircut.
I just haven't been doing much though. You know,
It still suits you, though. It still suits you.
yeah, I just haven't been doing much with myself really. I've been chilling out. I've been training. I don't go many places, so I just think like keeping up an appearance and stuff isn't really my job at the minute. It's just work. Yeah.
Alexander Povetkin, tough opponent, really tough. I think a lot of people are writing him off, constantly saying, oh, he's too old, he's that. But do you think that age is going to be a factor Saturday night?
I think like boxing is a young man's sport. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, you know, the mind controls the body. So if your mind is strong, your body will do what the mind tells it. So if he's game, he's ready, he's mentally strong, he'll put up a good fight for as long as he can. And in the heavyweight division, fighters get knocked out in a round because we're so strong and powerful. So if he can put up a good fight for 10 rounds and I make one mistake, it could change the course. So I do not choose to underestimate someone like him at all.
You've achieved a lot in a short period of time, but you also said that you feel like it's just not been good enough to the general public. What do you mean by that?
No, it's just like the comparisons. There's always going to be comparisons, and there's always going to be expectations.
You're the heavyweight champ.
So I've got to understand that, right?
Yeah.
And I know it's just not like when you look at history, everyone goes through it. But
AJ, Floyd Mayweather Jr. I mean, he still does it. You still hear people question how great he is, but come
he's
on.
one of the greatest. He's fought them all from the old to the mid to the new of this era. So for me, it's like what makes me any different. So I just understand and I'm pretty aware of the expectations and where I'm at with things.
Now, you can't mention your name without hearing Wilder or Fury. You guys seem to dominate conversations these days. What do you make of that fight happening, and who do you have winning?
I think it's a great fight. I'm glad it's a good name on their records. I think they need it. And that's what I was saying to someone before is that I can't bear the burden of the whole division where it's like me fight Klitschko, Povetkin, Parker, White, Tyson, Wilder, then Miller, and then none of these that are fighting each other. I'm like, whoa. So that's where the whole expectation I felt landed on my shoulders. And I was ready to fight Wilder, but it fell through. But other than that, it's a good fight for them both. I think they both need it. And if you just look at what's real, Wilder will probably win because he's been the more active fighter in tougher fights, and Fury's had a long layoff.
When all the negotiation talk was going on with Wilder, you seemed to stay very quiet through it all while Wilder was basically talking and talking. Why did you make that decision to not really pipe back? Because I know you got it in you to want to snap back.
So I've always been in the business of when I have a fight lined up, I talk about that fighter. When I don't have a fight lined up, I don't talk about that fight. So Wilder wasn't signing no contract. Nothing was agreed, so I didn't really feel the need to kind of focus my energy on him. I was looking for the serious fighters who wanted to challenge. So that's where my mind was at with it. And you do business behind closed doors, you don't do it in the public. So I wasn't in the business of trying to raise my profile off of the fact of we're trying to negotiate a fight. I was just in the business of let's get a fight done and then we can announce it and it'll be big regardless. So that's why I decided to keep my mouth shut until the thing that people wanted was here, which was the fight, and unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Do you have a message for him?
No.
No?
No.
All right, fair enough. And lastly, I wanted to bring up how adorable your son is. That video circulated, and he didn't want you to go training. Would you want your son to become a boxer?
Nah, definitely not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say now because he might look back and be like, this guy didn't have a clue. He could go on and do better things and be better than maybe what I was. But it's difficult, man. It's difficult. I can't force him into boxing. I think if you're forced into boxing, you're not going to be good. You have to want it because it's very challenging. A lot of fighters just find themselves in the gym.
You're just going to have to lace up a little gloves on him and see what he does.
I wouldn't. Education. I want him to focus on his education. Okay. Yeah. But fighting's tough, Use your brain. I had to use my fists. I wanted to use his brain. And I think football, I don't mind him playing football or something, or golf or something like that. But, or wrestling. I'll get him into wrestling because it's non-combat. Boxing from a young age is a combat sport, so getting punched in the head and stuff like that. I think wrestling's good for a young kid.
And lastly, I want to know, how has becoming a father changed your life and changed you as a fighter as well?
Not so much as a fighter, but in terms of life, I think I've always been around, like, my nieces, my nephews had kids in the house. So I just know that it takes more than one person to raise a kid. So I haven't raised my kid alone. It's been my mum, his mum, aunt, uncle. So just like being around your family is the most important because they support you through everything. Fights, raising kids, when you need to rest. It just teaches you more about the importance of family.
All right, AJ, thank you so much. You're so
Thank you
kind
so
for
much.
standing here. You had such a massive line today, so I really appreciate you. Any final words?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like tune in. It's been a long time, that's for sure. And it's nice to be back on this channel.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Bye,
much.
Fight fans. Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else